All right, well, we're talking your rights and your responsibilities this morning on Trial Tuesdays. Somewhat of a gray area for some people, so helping to clean up the muddy waters. Our resident law expert, David Aylor. How are you, David?
Well, I'm recovering.
I did not do this to him. Don't let him tell you that.
Domestic violence right here.
I did not hit you.
Right
Don't.
here.
Anyways, today we are talking about the importance of knowing your rights and your responsibility. And so we have a viewer question. This one's from Leslie, David, so we'll go ahead and get into it. She says, if I have a party at my house and someone has too much to drink, am I responsible if they drink and drive? So I guess she's saying, you know, everybody's having a great time, everybody's at the party, then all of a sudden this person decides to leave, gets in a car, drinks and drives, and then whatever may happen after that, is Leslie responsible?
Absolutely she is, and I think that's a great question because you obviously hear a lot of situations involving minors and things like that, and people are understandably aware of the fact that a lot of times they're responsible in minor situations, but this is for another adult, meaning somebody over 21. And you've got to look to the situation very similar to like a bar under dram shop laws. When you know, someone at a bar overserves someone who's over the age of 21 legally being served, but is not legally being served when they're intoxicated, then they go out and cause an accident. It's the same thing at your home. So you absolutely could be liable both civilly and criminally.
Oh, but a lot of people listen at that and they say, that is a grown person, they're over the age of 21, they decided to get in their car, how am I responsible for that? And I ask the exact same question because you could say to someone, you can't get in your car, I'm taking your keys. Then they leave anyways.
Right, but if you provide the environment that they're drinking in and perhaps the actual alcohol that they're drinking, at that point you're more of a part of the scenario that's occurring. You're right, they may still be able to leave, and there might be certain circumstances that you can't stop, and those could come into play too, depending on what may come from it. But if you're providing them a place to drink, you're providing the alcohol, you're letting them drink to just an excessive amount and then leave, there is a responsibility level there for you.
Well, there was a story similar to this right here in the Low Country just a couple weeks ago, but then the next question would be, what do parents of underage drinkers, what is their responsibility level, especially if, let's say, your 16-year-old has a giant party, invites a bunch of people over, somehow gets alcohol, someone gets hurt, and you weren't even there? You're still responsible, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, in those situations, if you're not going to be home, you want to make sure that your child's not going to be there either. If you have any questions on whether or not you can trust them and that there's no alcohol that they're going to be able to get to in the house, or that they're going to be able to come back to the house with alcohol, because you could be responsible because it is still your house. They're still going to be able to come after your homeowner's insurance and that sort of thing. And obviously, if you're aware of the party, as we saw in that recent incident, you could be criminally charged because you're allowing that illegal activity to go home at your house.
Well, on both sides of the law, what would you suggest that people do? I mean, we're giving free legal advice. If you're the parent that hosted the party, or if you're the person that left the party, you were drinking and driving, do they sue the person at house that they left?
Yeah, well, if you're a parent of a child that that was at the party at the house, then yeah, you definitely would want to look at some civil action to bring against the parents that were responsible for letting the children drink at their house, particularly if something happened. In regards to being the individual who left the home of an adult party that was drinking and driving, you may have some issues trying to go back against them, claiming that they weren't responsible for you. However, if you're a victim of a car accident or some other type of accident that occurred after someone left a party, you absolutely could go back as that victim and look towards the people that threw the party, just like when you see people go back to the bars and that sort of thing.
Where they came from.
Absolutely.
And I think that all of this is very timely because this weekend, big weekend, everybody wants to celebrate for St. Patrick's Day, but you want to make sure that you're remaining safe.
Right. It all just comes down to really just basic responsibility, and the best way to do that is to plan ahead, because once the alcohol starts flowing, then those type of decisions a lot of times unfortunately go out the window.
Right. And can't stress the importance of, I do know a lot of parents that say, well, if they're drinking here, it's fine, talking about their underage kids, and it's just not okay.
Well, it's not okay because it's illegal. I mean, beyond anything else, you might think it's a safe environment, but it's still not legal. It can't be safe if it's not legal. That may sound generic, but it's the reality of it.
There you go. Well, David Aylor is his name. I did not give him this black eye. Thank you so much for being here this morning. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. If
you had an electrical problem in your home, would you want to know about it? Of course you would. Current Safe and Trans World Electric are here to help you out. Stay with us.